You hear the voice of Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell is our special guest today. This is the Jon Krawczynski Show. We are very lucky to be here at Target Center for the logo unveil. We also have CEO Matt Caldwell from the Timberwolves up later. Just to set the stage, again, Sam Mitchell, former Timberwolves standout, former Timberwolves coach, former NBA Coach of the Year. Jon Krawczynski, the host of the show at TalkNorth.com. This is a TalkNorth.com production. Thanks to our people from TalkNorth.com who are here today making it all happen. We're officially coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studio, and we were presented to you by Lexus of Wayzata in Maplewood. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Sam, we were having a conversation earlier. There were more people here to see a logo unveil at Target Center than there were for some Timberwolves games in the 2000s.
I wasn't here in 2000.
Yeah, no.
I'm not blaming
It wasn't
you.
your fault.
I'm just saying
It wasn't your fault.
It's different.
Well, it's exciting. You know, when you look at where this team has come, the fact that they're knocking on the door for an NBA championship, and I still say, and I picked San Antonio and New York to play in the finals. I picked New York to win it months back. But I honestly believe if Anthony Edwards was healthy, because what people don't understand, he makes everybody on this team 4 to 5 to 6% better. And it's those little incremental things that you need to get over the hump. Him not being able to perform at his maximum really hurt this team.
Sammy, I heard you talking with Barrero early in the playoffs about that and just that, hey, this is the team, the Timberwolves team you really just like, not just for Ant, but what else kind of impressed you about that group? And, I mean, if Wolves fans are looking forward and saying, man, Oklahoma City's not getting any worse, San Antonio's not getting any worse, how are we going to find our way back into it? What do you see for that?
Okay. San Antonio was put together to mirror OKC. Mm. They play a bunch of guards. Look at their draft. All guards. And I said this, you're not going to beat the Knicks playing 3-4 guards. Mm-hmm. You're not going to beat, when this team is healthy, you're not going to beat this team with 3 or 4 guards because you got to figure it out. The reason I took the Knicks, the way the team is constructed, San Antonio was constructed to beat one team, OKC. They did it. They have no clue. When you look at OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, those bookend forwards, 6'10", 6'7", that's size. And they're skilled, and they're quick, and they're athletic, and they can shoot. San Antonio guards are not good shooters. And this is where their youth hurts them. They're great at getting to the basket, but right now they're getting to the basket for themselves. They're not getting to the basket with the thought of creating opportunities for their teammates. Mm-hmm. And they're going to get better at that. So I just felt like when you look at these teams, and the Wolves, to contradict San Antonio and OKC, make sure at the 3 and that 2 position, you're big, and you got Anthony Edwards, but Jay McDaniels. Mm-hmm. Everybody keep talking about adding something. Don't put a little pressure on Jaden. I think Jaden could get even better. Mm. I think he can become better. Now, he's already a great defender, but I think offensively, he's only scratched the surface of his talent. Mm-hmm. And if I was Anthony Edwards, I'd put my arms around him and say, why they're out there looking for that number 2 scorer, he's right there. You saw some of the games he had in the playoffs. Yeah. He's capable. You just got to instill in him. And early in the season, he may have some clunkers, but you got to spoon feed him and get him in that mindset of being a scorer. And I think he can do it.
I think one of the things that he was running into in those moments, I think what you're saying is, how do I assert myself as a go-to scorer when you have Anthony Edwards, when you have Julius Randle, when there's already a lot of shots kind of being consumed? Like, what's the key for a player like that to just be able to inject himself into it and find more opportunities to score?
At his size and skill set, who can guard him? Mm-hmm. He's 6'9", 6'10", close to 6'10". He can handle, he can shoot, he can defend. He is the modern-day NBA player when you look at the metrics. Mm-hmm. And all you got to do, and it's hard to go from being a 16-point scorer to 22 points. Mm-hmm. People don't understand that mindset. You almost got to not have a conscience. Mm-hmm. You almost got to not care when you have bad games. But as a coaching staff, they got to instill him that. His teammates can help with that by encouraging him, by sometimes deflecting when they have a shot, giving it to him. It's not about winning a bunch of games in the regular season. Mm-hmm. It's about preparing yourself for the playoffs. That's what the Knicks did. The Knicks had a lot of up and downs. But if you look at the things that they went through, they were getting their team right. They were flushing out all the negativity stuff. When Mikal Bridges came out and talked about, this is my fault, I'm not doing the things I need to do. That was part of that team growing and growing under Mike Brown. So now you see the finished results. I think the Timberwolves are constructed like that. When you look at Rudy, look at Julius, you look at Anthony Edwards. You look at the way this team is constructed, they can be that type of team that can counterbalance OKC and San Antonio with those guards because those forwards that the Timberwolves have are skilled also.
How about dealing with the pressures and the patience that need to happen to navigate that path through the regular season? Because I think Wolves fans got a little tense around here when it wasn't going well early, and just being able to be clear-eyed and block out some of the noise that is going to become, hey, why isn't this working now? We want this right now kind of stuff. How do you...
But those are the fans.
Yeah.
They're always going to be like that.
Yeah.
But you as the professional, you as the coach, you as the players, you got to keep the tunnel vision on. You got to keep the big thing, the main thing. And it's about, you play 82 games to get yourself ready for the playoffs, for positioning, but you get yourself ready to play the playoffs, those battles, those wars. And in them tough moments, you can draw back on some of those experiences during the regular season. But I would say to the fans, look at where the Wolves have come from. Look at where they are. They're right there. When you get to the Western Conference Finals, you're right there. So it's just going to take something to get over that hump. And I think this team can do it. And I really believe if Anthony was healthy, the Wolves might be playing right now.
Even just going right through the Western Conference Finals and going.
Yeah, because
beating OKC.
OKC doesn't scare me. Guys, did you see him?
Yeah.
San Antonio went in there and beat them twice. One time, it could be a fluke. They beat them twice. They beat them game one, the two most important games, game 1 and game 7. And in game 7, they beat them. So clearly right now, it's ingrained in OKC mind that San Antonio better. But I'm not sure if the Wolves are healthy and Jay McDaniels take that next step. I think this Wolves team could be the best team in the West.
Sam, I thought the turning point in that series was when, I think it was I can't remember, it was game 5 or game 6, Shea went up for a couple of jumpers, fell down without being touched, and didn't get a call. I thought everything changed after that because he stopped flopping, and then he had to earn the points, and he played fine, but he wasn't the dominant figure he had been before that.
Now, I'm going to defend Shea. You're taught as a player to get away with what you can get away with. That's why you have 3 officials. So for all the people to be mad at Shea, get mad at the people who make the call. If I can get to the free throw line 17 times, and as a coach he can do that, why am I going to encourage him to stop? If the officials go,
that's why it's up to the officials.
Yes, that's what you got 3 officials for. So they got to do their job. So it doesn't bother me what Shea is doing because it's working. And if you watch him play, about 90% of the time, 95% of the time, he is fouled. Right? It's that 1 or 2 during the game, but it's so close because you have to be so close to him. And people have to remember, you got to let a guy land in his spot. You cannot be in his space to come down. And so I don't get caught up in all this stuff. And you saw what San Antonio did. They beat them twice in that building.
Sam, zooming back out to this event here and seeing kind of a lot of the uniforms are kind of going back to what they were at the start, and you wore the whites and the blues, just anything.
I still have those uniforms.
You do?
They're just at my daughter's house.
Okay.
My kids come to my house and have taken all my memorabilia, taken all my uniforms, everything. So I have nothing
You
in
have
my
nothing.
house. I may have a T-shirt lying around, and I have to hide it or they'll get it. I told them I'm not dead yet.
What are some memories from those very first days here and wearing those colors and just like what it was like getting a team started from scratch in this town?
John, I remember when we first got here as an expansion team, just riding down the street and people would recognize you and stop you at a red light. And it was just, everybody was so excited. Then we played our first season in a Metrodome. And we drove a million
people.
And just the excitement and the love. And what I realized in Minnesota, it's only going to be one champion in every sport. But as a player, as long as you show up every night with the desire and the effort and the intent to try to be a champion, the people here will support you. And that's the thing that I loved about this community, loved about this fan base. Yeah, they want a championship. We all do. But they also understand only one team is going to win. And at the end of the day, if my team's showing up and leaving everything on the court, what else can I ask for? Then it's up to management to try to tweak it and get us a little bit better so we can get over the top. But all you can ask is for the players to give 100%, and they do.
And you could say, Sam, that those early teams almost won too much, right? Like with Muss, yeah, like you didn't get that number one pick.
We didn't get those picks.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too. If looking back on it, And because Bill Musselman was so driven about winning, I remember he used to say to us, I'd rather die than lose. Because at least when you're dead, you're dead. If you live, you got to live with losing. That's how he thought, right? And he instilled that in us. And we won 29 games that first year. And we were in every game. I remember we were playing Portland. And that's when they were really good.
Yeah.
And Kevin Duckworth, God bless his dead, he yelled out, I hate playing y'all. I just hate it. Because we were going to hold the ball. We were going to play tough defense. We were going to keep the game in the high 80s and 90s and try to win it. And so, but looking back to your point, understanding how teams are built now, we should have kind of taken our foot off the gas and got higher picks.
It seems like this organization over the last several years is trying to reconnect with players who have been here before. You've been back for events. Kevin Garnett is now involved again. What was it like being back here with KG when he came back into the house?
Man, I've talked to KG, but I haven't physically seen him in years. And I went up to his hotel room and didn't tell him I was coming. And they gave me a key. So I'm starting to use the key to go in his room. He yelling, oh, who's coming in? And when I walked through the door, he picked me up off my feet and hugged me. It was great, man, because he's the heart and soul. The reason these guys play the way they play, yeah, it's the city, it's the organization. But who put all that in place? He did. His mentality. He left it on that court area. You saw him every night. And what people don't realize, he did the same thing in practice every day. If you're going to put a Timberwolves jersey on and you don't play hard and play with respect and play the right way, then you're not honoring the guy that did this in Kevin Garnett. And what people need to understand, Kevin McHale had to sit him down and make him accept a trade. He did not want to leave here. He was like, look, either I'm going to win a championship here or I'm not going to win one. He was loyal to a fault for this organization. And Kevin McHale, when he laid it out for him, and I remember the conversation, you don't want to be one of those players, the greatest, to not win a championship. And I think KG respects that and understands that, but I can tell you 100%, he'd much rather have won this championship here in Minnesota.
I remember when he went into Hall of Fame, I called you and asked for just memories about him, and you told me that you used to collect $2 bills. And that KG
still do, got them in my wallet right now.
And that KG, as a superstitious guy that he was, had a $2 bill that he had lost at one point before a game. Can you maybe tell the clean version of those memories for this fan base?
Well, first of all, the KG was very superstitious about everything. Everything before every game had to go in a certain order at a certain time. What he ate, what he drank, the way the hot packs were put on his knees. Clayton Wilson, our equipment manager, had to write something on his taped ankles before every game at a certain time. Like, it was routine. So he had this thing about a $2 bill put in his sock. And I collect them. What he didn't realize, he didn't know that. So when he lost the $2 bill, for some reason, Clayton was always in our stuff.
Of course, he was
Clayton
stirring
like
the pot.
Dennis the Menace, stirring the pot. Clayton like, KG, Mitch got a bunch of $2 bills. I guarantee he found yours. And KG just going, oh, you got. So I go in my wallet. I pull out like 15 $2 bills I got folded up. He's like, KG, I've been collecting these since the day they came out. But again, you have to understand, he couldn't play. He would not play. I remember a game, Clayton was busy, couldn't write on his tape. KG called a timeout 2 minutes into the game. Flip like, what are you? Flip, I gotta get Clayton. Come right on my, and Flip just shoot, because he understood he was not gonna be right until Clayton wrote whatever he writes on his ankles.
That's an amazing story. Speaking of KG not wanting to be traded, Karl Anthony Towns did not want to be traded either. He's in excelling for the Knicks right now. You had him right away as a rookie, and I remember there was one game where you sat him down in the fourth quarter, and afterward it was, Sam, he's the number 1 overall pick. Why is he not in the fourth quarter? And you said, I need to teach this young man how to play the right way, play defense. What were those early days with Cat like, just trying to get him settled in as a rookie, figuring out the right way to play and get established here?
He was awesome.
Yeah.
First of all, he's an unbelievable, nice young man. Just exceptional. He loves basketball. He cares about his teammates. It was easy to coach Carl. Now, the thing you have to do with a guy that talented, every now and then you got to rein him in a little bit, right? You just have to rein him in a little bit. And so if you, as a rookie, you know you're not going to win championships. So what was my job? To develop him, develop Andrew, develop Zach, and to get them to understand how to play NBA basketball the correct way. And there's a way that you play this game in the fourth quarter. And so if you're not going to win the championship, then my job as the coach was set the table whether I was going to be here the following year or not. It was always important to me for the coach that came behind me to say, these guys have been well coached. They've been taught the right way. And that's all I was doing. And you see Karl Anthony Towns right now. He's now displaying all of his talent. You know, what made us draft Karl was not what he did at Kentucky. It's what he did in high school. Karl Anthony Towns handled the ball and played kind of that point center in high school. The night before the draft, we were going to take Jahlil Okafor. Milt Newton, who's now in Milwaukee, told me to talk to Flip and make Flip go back and watch Cat high school films. That's what made us draft Karl Anthony Towns, what he did in his skill set from high school, not Kentucky.
Man, that's a great story.
Can we get a hand for Sam Mitchell, by the way? I saw Sam play in the Metrodome. Pretty amazing what he did in the career he built. Still doing great things now. Sam, we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming up.
Thanks so much, Sam.
Best of luck, and best of luck with that enterprise we were talking about earlier.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Scott for Aquarius. Home ownership is like a reality show. Your house loves drama. One day the AC quits. The dripping faucet keeps you up all night. Or the light switch never turns off. But Aquarius Home Services is ready for every plot twist. Our trusted HVAC techs, plumbers, and electricians bring the calm back home with $98 off any repair. Schedule today at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
If you're in the market for a new luxury vehicle, look no further than our good friend Charlie Swanson at Lexus. Whether you're on the west or the east side of the Twin Cities, they've got you covered with two great locations, Lexus of Wayzata and Lexus of Maplewood. Check out the all-new Lexus TX, a spacious SUV with 3 rows of seating and plenty of room for all your gear. Head over to LexusofWayzata.com or LexusofMaplewood.com for details and to find your next ride today. Life comes with a lot of things to remember, and Great Clips doesn't think your haircut should be one of them. That's why I use Clip Notes to save my haircut details, so no matter which stylist I see or Great Clip salon I visit, it's easy to feel like the best version of me. So do yourself a favor, say goodbye to guesswork, and hello to a great haircut every time. Download the app today. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Hey, thanks again to everyone who showed up today. This kind of turned into an amazing event. We want to thank Sam Mitchell and the Timberwolves for being so cooperative and having us here. Now, John, I'm going to let John introduce the next guests.
I don't know if I even need to introduce these guys to you guys, but we have Rocco, Zikarsky, Joan, Beringer. Welcome back, guys. First of all, tell us what you think of the new court and the new uniforms. What do you think of the new look?
I love it. Yeah, they're unreal. I mean, the court itself and then the jerseys, I like sort of throwing back the OG look. You know, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
All of these looks came from before you were born, probably. What's it like learning the history of this team as you guys get going here?
I mean, it's great. Like you said, the court is great. New Jersey are nice, so yeah, it's great. Yeah. The history of it, just learning about it and being around the group and seeing old guys come through and tell their stories and stuff about it is, it's cool to see, and it's cool to sort of rep that heritage again for sure.
Rocco, you both have come in at the same time and I think are forming a friendship and a bond. What was that first season like for you two together and getting to know each other and just kind of get established here?
Yeah, I think it was great. You know, both being international, it's sort of a different environment. Obviously, he speaks French and I was a bit easier adjusting. But to have, to have us together all year and even now in the summer working out together, it's made the transition so much easier, and especially both being bigs, it's been unreal together.
Are you guys working out together? Just what's a day looking like right now for you guys in the summer working out?
We're like it'll be a big lift in the morning, and then we get on court. We're playing 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 build-ups, and then coming back in the afternoon for some more shooting as well. So all in all, about 4 hours of work.
Yeah. Joan, what did you learn the most in year one, and what are you working on the most getting ready for next year?
For me, probably how to read the game, also my defense. I had a lot of time to watch Rudy play defense. His defense is great, so yeah, just like I try to learn from him. Also Jaden, yeah.
What about just learning about living here in the United States and in Minneapolis? How do you like it so far?
Oh, it's great. It's great. My mom is here too, so it's probably easier, yeah, for me.
These fans are very excited to see both of you, I think, next year, even maybe get even more opportunity. What's been the connection like with them and noticing how much energy they have for you?
It's great. Like for me and Rocco too, we start to play basketball very late. So like for us, I think to be here, it's a bless. So for me, I really enjoy every game here. So yeah, it's a bless.
Rocco, you spent some time in Iowa playing. Like, what did you learn from that experience, and what's, I guess, your expectation going into next season now, coming off of that?
Yeah, obviously for me it was a massive confidence boost to be able to get down there and play some big minutes and have my opportunity to sort of express my game a little bit more than I would on an NBA floor. But yeah, I mean, it was an awesome experience getting to learn and getting to play with, even Zion and Enrique, they've been in the league for 2 years now, and just sort of adjusting to the American style of play. I think it was a sort of great learning opportunity.
How much of a role is the three-point shot going to eventually be, or is, in your game as you try to kind of come up here?
Yeah, I think hopefully it'll turn into a big part of my game. Especially when me and Joan get the chance to play together. Double screens, he's rolling, I'm popping, we're getting a good look either way. I hope to, it becomes a big part of my game, and yeah.
Joan, what do you think is going to be the key for you to have success offensively at this level?
I think, like for me, just to learn how to drive better, even with my left hand, and also like play on the post maybe more. And like just read the game better, like, and yeah. But for me, probably my drive, is really important for me for my game.
Is it a very big help to have another big to be able to work out directly with all summer long and go at?
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you play against a 7-4.
Yeah.
Every day, you get better. So no, it's great for me.
We go at each other.
You do? Tell me about it. What's it like?
Oh man, we do like our one-on-one together. We go at it. I mean, he's so athletic, it's hard to stop. But man, it's fun. It's the best environment I've been in training-wise.
Rocco, I saw at the end of the Spurs series, you walked out onto the court as everyone was shaking hands, and you were right next to Wemby, and it looked like you were trying to say, "I am as tall as you." Yes. What's this like? What can you take us through?
My grandma and my mom, they were texting me and they were like, at some point in the series, we've got to see how tall you are next to Wemby. And then like after the game, I saw him dapping everyone up. I'm like, all right, this is my shot. And I went over there and I just I sized him up a little bit and I dapped him and I walked away and I was like, all right, cool. Like, he's tall, but he's not that tall. He's probably like maybe half an inch taller than me. So yeah, close. We're getting there.
Yeah. Joan, did you know Victor much kind of growing up, or was it different, totally different? No. Yeah. Is that just, do you look forward to that challenge eventually, getting a chance?
Yeah. It's like for me to play against the best player, it's always like a motivation. So yeah.
What was the hardest part for you last year?
Honestly, staying on the bench. I thought I would play more, but it's just the process. Like stay confident and yeah.
What were the coaches telling you about being patient during that time? It's probably hard, right? You want to be out there.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you're young and you want to play. It's hard, but he just told me like when I play to like be good in defense, put my energy on the court for my teammates. So yeah.
Rocco, looking ahead to Las Vegas Summer League, I think that'll be the next competitive environment on the court you're in. Like, it sounds like you two will probably play together a lot in lineups. Like, what do you think that will look like, and what are you looking forward to with that pairing?
Yeah, I mean, like I touched on earlier, I think it's a great opportunity to hopefully see the future, you know, and get a glimpse into how we're able to work together. You know, he's such an athlete and plays above the rim every possession, and I can space the floor a little bit, you know, so obviously it's going to take a bit of time to figure out how we play with each other. But yeah, it'll be a great opportunity, and I'm sure it'll be good.
Last question. Who wins when you guys go head-to-head?
Me, every time. No, I'd say it's pretty fair. But he's dunked on me quite a lot.
He dunked on me too. I mean, it's just like, you know, he dunk on me and dunk on him, like it's really good. Yeah.
Everyone, give it up for Rocco Zikarsky, Joan, Beringer. Thanks so much for stopping in, guys. Really appreciate it. Yep. Good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's thank TSR Injury Law, 612 TSR Time, 612 TSR Time. We got to get Steve Terry back on the show here soon. We haven't talked to him in a little while. What you need to know is if you're ever injured, you call 612 TSR Time. They're good people. They'll take good care of you. It's that simple. 612 TSR Time.
True Vision Institute in Bloomington. Go to truevision.com to set up your free consultation. Get in there, go through all of the steps that they take you through. It's an exhaustive but a very, very intelligent and educating process about all of the vision correction options that are available to you. I had LASIK surgery with True Vision about 2 years ago now. And it's been just an incredible thing for my life. I don't have to deal with the hassles of glasses and contacts anymore. I see clearly both up close and far away. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can see that no glasses. And so I don't have to worry about constantly, are these glasses fashionable, or am I in the right style now? Is my prescription up to date? Do I have to go back and get another batch of daily contacts? Like, all of that hassle is gone, and my life is so much easier because I went to True Vision in Bloomington. So go to truevision.com, set up your consultation, tell them the Jon Krawczynski Show sent you, and get on with living your best life after LASIK surgery at True Vision. That's right. If you go to sglambchops.com and use the promo code JONK20, you get 20% off anything that you get at Lamb Chops, and you can get a lot at Lamb Chops. They have hoodies, they have hats, they have pants, they have shorts, t-shirts, they have sweaters. There are all sorts of different things for you. It's all incredibly comfortable. It's all stylish, and it's all super high quality. You know, if you buy something from Lamb Chops, it is going to last you a very long time, and you're going to look good in it the whole time. I always like to say you can go to Lamb Chops, buy whatever you want. You can wear that out on a Friday night in the North Loop and feel like you fit right in. You can wear it at a Timberwolves or Lynx game and fit right in, or you can wear it just lounging around the house watching, you know, on TV and being incredibly comfortable. So go to sglambchops.com, use the promo code JONK20 for 20% off anything you get at Lamb Chops.
Very lucky after an array of great guests to have Timberwolves CEO Matt Caldwell. Please give him a hand for joining us today.
Thank you.
I also want to give a quick shout out to our TalkNorth.com staffers here today, our Vice President of Business Development, Tammy Henderson, our Social Media Coordinator, Hannah Franson, and our producer, Alex Halligan. Thanks so much to everyone who helped make this happen, and thanks to all of our sponsors. We do appreciate it. Matt, just give me the big picture. What's it been like for you this last year? NHL to NBA, stepping into this arena, moving to Minnesota. What strikes you about all that?
I mean, big transition for us. This wasn't something on our bingo card. About a year ago today, we were celebrating the second Stanley Cup win that we had in Florida in the NHL. And, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Laurie closed on majority ownership. And we knew them, we being myself and the owner I worked for, and they reached out. It was very humbling. Literally, we're celebrating like on the beach with the Stanley Cup, and like that Monday, they gave me a call saying that they would love to chat with me. And the owner that I worked for in Florida, I was very close to. I worked with him before sports. He's been like a second father to me, and he's like, listen, this is a great opportunity. It's new ownership. They want to build a new arena. They're hungry. They have a great, it's a great sports market. And, we don't want to lose you, but what else more can we accomplish here in Florida? So talked to my wife about it, and she's from Brazil, and the only place she had lived in the U.S. was in South Florida, so this was going to be a big change for her. We just had our third kid. We just bought a house. But when opportunity comes knocking, and sometimes you just have to jump on it. So over a 2-month period, we put it all together. We moved here in September. Everyone's been so welcoming. I mean, the Midwest values, the Minnesota nice is real. My family's felt like very included. I found a home. My kids have been in school, and started just weeks before the Timberwolves season. And another great season. Even though we fell short of our goal of winning a championship, like the crowds, the revenue, the sponsorship, all that was really, really wonderful. And like I mentioned when I spoke to the fans today, like, it's the loudest arena I've heard. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And I've been to a ton of arenas in my career, both NHL, NBA teams, and you can feel the passion of the fan base. So it's been great.
Matt, I will say, like, your first winter here was a real winter. Like,
Yeah.
it was even by our standards pretty cold. How did the whole family acclimate to that?
Yeah, that was
side
a
of
lot.
things?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That was very intense. Of course, they knew that it was gonna be cold winters. I grew up in the Northeast, but we got here. September and October were beautiful, and I don't think it rained once in 2 months. It was probably 60 degrees. And November started getting a little chilly, and I remember Thanksgiving weekend, it was -10. And it was like early in the winter. So my wife was like, I thought this was supposed to be like for 1 month in January, like really this cold. So, but they got through it. I can tell you, it makes you appreciate April, May, June, through the rest of the summer. First day that it was like sunny out, we got bikes for the kids. I have 3 little kids, a 6, 4, and 2-year-old. And they love getting outside, and it's so much more pleasant here in the summer. Like I got desensitized to it in South Florida, like the humidity. I mean, come May time frame, it's hard to walk a couple blocks without being drenched. It's kind of the opposite of here. In January it's hard to go out. Like June, July, August, it's kind of hard to go outside in South Florida. But they got through it. They're surviving, and they're having fun. Yeah.
We're here at the jersey unveiling, court unveiling. It's obviously very business and marketing centric. Just what goes into this whole project, but even on a day like today, to kind of unveil it the way that you guys did?
Yeah, I mean, the whole process has to start multiple years out. You have to coordinate with Nike, the league. You have to go through a whole intellectual property process to make sure you're not taking marks from another jersey that someone has IP rights on. So it was a real 3-year process. A lot of this was done before I arrived. Owners and business and marketing people have to plan ahead and see how it's going to be well received, what season to introduce the new marks, all the ordering of the uniforms. So like there's so much build up. An event like this also takes a lot because you want to try to not have the jersey leak, which it did. So we failed at that. But you're in the middle of the summer and it's a Sunday afternoon to get 6,000-7,000 people out. I mean, that's really impressive. When I was in Florida, we had trouble getting 6,000-7,000 people to hockey games at a certain point, at least early on, not after we started winning. But this is a real hardcore sports market. I mean, I think you all know that, but I'm seeing it with fresh eyes. And to see them all out there today and get the players wearing the uniforms, not having them snap pictures and post it on social. It's like there's a lot that goes into it all.
I know you mentioned it to the crowd, but you said like the leak that happened was not from
No,
you guys.
not at all.
And,
Absolutely
and
not.
when it first came out and we saw the pictures of Jaden and Oz, and I'm like, oh, this must have been some kind of strategic thing on your guys' soft launch. But
No.
What's the feeling when something like that does happen?
It was really disheartening because we put so much time into it, and we wanted. I could tell the fans liked the new jerseys, but if they were seeing it for the first time, that you would feel more of like, oh wow, we wanted everyone to savor that moment. But it did not come from us. We have some suspicions that like someone was able to like hack into our system, which by the way goes to show how passionate the fan base is that someone figured out a way. But we haven't confirmed it all. But there was these internal websites that we had that were only for our use, and we discovered that someone got into them.
I think it was D'Angelo Russell.
Matt, you talked about it though. First year now, can you bring us up to speed on where things stand with the arena?
Yeah.
And like what's happening on that front right now?
Yeah, there's a lot happening. Just most of it behind the scenes. I probably spend 50% of my time on the new arena process. I'm kind of splitting myself in two if I can. So probably doing 100% towards the business and 100% towards the new arena. But no, legitimately half my time is still looking. I mean, there's so much that happens with securing the right site, working on the lease that we have here, working with the mayor's office on, how we would have a new arrangement, a new arena. There's nothing that I can opine on, but do know that I'm not kicking the can down the road and saying this is a pipe dream. This is something we want to get done in the next 5 or 6 years, and if we could do it sooner, we would. But I've mentioned this publicly. Once you go shovel to ground, it's a 3-year process easily. So, and there's a lot that you need to get in place. You have to secure a site, figure out the economic arrangement, and then you have to do a lot of permitting and sketches with architects, and you have to have a lot of auditing of sewage and water and utilities. I mean, there's so much that goes on. Imagine just buying a house, how long that takes. This is a million square feet of real estate. So.
Has anything happened in this process that shakes your confidence at all that this is a doable thing, or that anything's going how would you characterize
it's going to be very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done 3 of these in my past. Not brand new arena, but I did 2 major renovations with a big real estate district. And then I did a brand new practice facility with a music venue, which was about 5 acres, which is very sizable. It wasn't as expensive as a new arena, but bottom line is I've done 3 of these processes over the last 10 years. And there's always going to be hurdles, and especially when you have the public-private partnership. But there's nothing that scares me. There's no showstoppers I haven't seen this before, or this is never going to get done. The good news is that there's a lot of energy around wanting to get it done, right? I've been in situations where the government or local fans or local stakeholders are sitting like this, and they're like, why are you even considering this? We shouldn't be doing it. We're very focused on trying to find something downtown, and we're definitely staying in Minnesota. Mark and Alex have said that publicly, and our priority is to try to do it downtown Minneapolis. But there's nothing that's popped out of me that says this can't be happening.
Yeah, we've seen other teams do downtown arenas and then maybe outskirts arenas in the suburbs where there is more of a footprint to develop. You believe that downtown is the way to go for this team?
Yeah, I do. I mean, we do want to have as much real estate around the arena to have a multi-use, but at this juncture, I wouldn't sacrifice a downtown arena for more acreage in a suburb at this point. We still, that can change over the next year or 2, but our priority is to try to find something in the downtown area.
If there was a difficult moment this season, maybe the ticket price increase and things that you introduced, what's been the reaction, and how are you kind of trying to communicate to the fans about being able to make this a place that they can come?
Yeah, and what John's referencing is the season ticket price increase that we did. I was very vocal that it's a pricing reset. We're not going to see those kind of percentage increases every year. What's really happened here, and I saw it in Florida too, is the team was bad for about 20 years, more or less. And pricing was at the bottom of the league. And, we've now had 6 straight seasons of playoffs. And a lot of times management teams and ownership groups, fill the building up because the team's playing better, but they're not adjusting the pricing. So the increases that we've done is just about, level setting and getting closer to, we're out of 30 teams, we were 27th in the league in pricing. We might get up to the low 20s, high teens. We're not getting anywhere near NBA medians, or certainly not top 10 markets, which, for the fans, they only care about what they paid yesterday or the year before, but we are looking at it across the league, and, we do consider ourselves a top 10 team, and we just think that the product can justify some more price integrity.
I've covered a lot of owners, and owners get to do things the way they want to do things. This ownership group, what's communication like? How often do you see them? How often do you talk to them? Is one person more of a point person? How does it all work with Alex and Mark?
Yeah, they're incredible. I haven't had a situation where I had 2 bosses. Usually I have just one, but they're really empowering to me and Tim Connolly. They see Tim and I as their ownership reps on the ground. Tim obviously on the basketball side, me on the business side. I would say Tim and I talk every single day. We talk to each other a lot more, and then we bring decisions to Mark and Alex when we feel that they need to opine on it. A lot of times we're the ones chasing them. They're really empowering to us, and they don't want to get, they pay us a lot of money, and they put us in big positions, so they want to make sure that we're being able to execute. They don't want to step in and have that be a friction point to slow us down. So I feel like a lot of times we're making sure we're not getting too far ahead of them. But they've been great to work for. It's been almost a year now. They've been absolutely incredible. Both of them are very involved, mostly by phone and text. Alex, has a house here in Medina, so he was at more games than Mark this year. But they both fly in for games. Alex usually stays longer, but they're very easily accessible, but a lot of times we're the ones proactively reaching out to them, which is great.
What's the biggest difference between NBA and NHL for you, and how you operate?
Yeah, so the business sides are pretty similar. You know, season tickets, media rights, sponsorships, the major revenue line items, very similar. Just the scale of the NBA. I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, they're looking at doing an NBA league in Europe. You know, at $1 billion plus valuations. You know, NHL was great, but like the U.S. and Canadian teams are just starting to get over $1 billion now. You know, they're probably in the high billions now, at least $1 billion. I mean, the global scale, the casual fan. So the season ticket holders make up 70% of the arenas in the NHL, and then there's maybe half season ticket holders, quarter plans. But it's hard to get single game buyers that aren't like diehard fans that didn't play the game or their kids play the game. It's hard to just appeal to like someone who's just a sports fan. Or in South Florida, it took us a long time to appeal to someone that knew nothing about hockey. Basketball's so easy to pick up, and I see it with my kids. Like they became diehard hockey fans over the last 5 years. Within like a week, they were like all over the Lynx and Wolves, you know, like because it's an easy game to understand. You can just sit down, watch it, pick up on it. There's a lot of rules in hockey and icing and offsides that makes it confusing. So just the global scale, the number of fans. I mean, we have bench players that have more social media followers than like the stars that we had in the NHL. Like literally, I mean, I know Rob Dillingham's no longer with us, but his social media, engagement was more than Connor McDavid or Sasha Barkov in the NHL. And it goes to show you that even though he wasn't playing much, he only had 1 year in college, just the way he appealed to fans, his lifestyle brand that he had, there's so many more people that have access to that. That's a massive difference.
How do you kind of, as the CEO, interact with the basketball side? And I mean, on a daily basis, you said you talk to Tim all the time.
Yep.
Just wondering also, like, is there much interaction with the players? Is that more like, hey, that's for the coaches in front office? Or like, what's your kind of interaction that way?
Players are more, with coaches, training staff. But we're all in the same building. I mean, I love the Mayo Clinic. It's great that the business office, basketball office, same 2 floors. It's a, square, set up for the offices, so you can walk 100 feet and talk to the players. But they have their schedules, they have their practices, so I don't usually deal with them too much. But Coach Finch and Tim Connolly I talk to a lot. Not so much on strategy, more just communication. Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we have going on. Trading deadline. This is where we're at. Especially budgeting. I got to forecast and make sure we have enough money for all the stuff we're doing. So. The integration here is great. That's another big difference with NBA. I find the business and basketball sides are more integrated. I'm not sure exactly why. I think in NHL, there's a little bit of like, hey, winning's the best marketing, so let us just go focus on winning games and you guys figure everything else out. It is the main ingredient, but there's so much you could be doing with sales, marketing, sponsorship, like outside of just wins and losses. So I think NBA is a little bit more commercial in that way.
I wonder, in terms of like that interaction with Finch and Connolly, I imagine that they are fairly open to just conversation stuff. I mean, fans here will know when Tibbs was here, it was not exactly that way. It was very much church and state. Just like, what kind of value do you find in that sort of interaction all the time?
If that was the case when Tibbs was here, that's how I think a lot of NHL teams operate. Yeah. Like church and state, we're here to win games. And listen, there's a lot of value to like just focusing on winning. But I find with Finch and Tim, they're so collaborative and outgoing. I think it's tremendous value because the last thing I want to do is find out about something on social media, right? I'm not prepared. Like fans are going to ask me in the concessions and the hallways, and plus I can help them with ownership to get things done. Like I'm talking to ownership all the time, and we have to have the trust to work together and bring forward what we think is best for the franchise. So I think it's a huge advantage. I would recommend that for any team.
How important has it been to reconnect with Kevin Garnett, and can you give us any insight into what that process was like?
Yeah, so I showed up in September. It was the number one thing fans asked me about. When's Garnett coming? When's that Garnett? And then they would ask me about the new arena. It was like 1, 2, but Garnett came first, believe it or not. They probably thought it was more near term. So that process has been on the works since the moment Mark and Alex showed up. About a year ago, when Mark and Alex knew that they were getting majority control, someone on Alex's team, Kelly LaFerriere, started negotiating with Kevin's, his agent and his business manager, and everything's been very collaborative. We just wanted to, we did a 1.5 year commitment with him. It was half of last season and all of next season. So we want to make sure we have the right number of visits and things he's going to do on social media, content pieces like he did today. So we just wanted to make sure to spell all that out. But I showed up in September, and it was done by early December. And we were hoping to announce it at a different point, but things start to leak, so we went out with it like middle of December. Yeah.
I know fans are really excited about a jersey retirement ceremony next year for him. I mean, I'm sure you're still firming up details and stuff, but anything more you can share about what to expect with an event like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a classic jersey retirement where, we'll have all kinds of bells and whistles. We'll be obviously putting the jersey up. We'll have a pregame ceremony. He'll probably make a speech. We'll set up some stuff before the game with potential like meet and greets. It'll be, all decked out from the night. But we're trying to look for the best date right now. It'll probably be, February timeframe or maybe in towards the end of the season. Like definitely second half. We're working with the NBA to make sure it's a great date, great for national television, but more importantly, better for our fans locally. I'd love a weekend to make sure everybody can get there. So I'm working through that now. We should have it done by like August or so.
And how much have you had time to kind of educate yourself on the history of this franchise? Because he's going to go up in the rafters, and the only other two up there are tragically, people who have passed away untimely, and just kind of, I maybe having a chance to have this be a real celebration of the history of this team and that player, and in a different vibe than the two that are up there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been digging into it. I mean, it was the first priority that we wanted to get done, and we're happy that it's coming. And for me, I'm a huge sports fan growing up, so. Not that I was tracking the Minnesota Timberwolves when I was younger, but I was definitely very aware of them. And, I've been like the New Jersey process. I mean, I jumped in there at the 5-yard line and learned about every single jersey that had existed in the franchise, and I plan to do that with all of our stats and players and everything else. So,
there are a lot of benefits to moving to the Eastern Conference. You get more chances to go back to Miami and visit people. So I know you're pushing for it, right?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a league decision, but this is at least 2 or 3 years away, just to be clear, But we see advantages to it. I mean, the thing I like about it is just the regional rivalries, right? The fact, like Chicago is right down the street. We should have more of a rivalry with them. Milwaukee, Indiana. I'm used to being in environments where geographically were the teams that you're battling with. So it's a little bit odd that the teams that are right around us, we only play them twice a year.
Well, and also just enough 9:30 playoff starts, right? It would be really nice to be in the playoffs and play at 7 o'clock and not have the next day ruined, right?
Yeah. I think my wife's back there clapping too. But the little kids, it's brutal. No, I totally get it. Totally get it. So.
Okay, this is an out of the left field question, but it does affect fans a lot. Where do you think local broadcasting of Timberwolves games is headed? With the RSNs kind of having all these troubles.
Yeah.
What do you see in the future?
So the NBA's been vocal about this. There's 13 teams right now. We're one of them that were on FanDuel this past season. FanDuel's not going to be existing for next year. For next season, for sure, there'll be another option. We haven't announced it yet. We're still digging in on a couple of things. But for the year after, for the 27-28, the league is working tirelessly to consolidate all 13 teams that were on the old, used to be Fox Sports, now is FanDuel, to be on one streaming platform. It's not official. It's not been finalized, but something like YouTube or Amazon or ESPN, apps. So the way you watch national games would also be brought to the local media space. So it would be much easier for fans. So you don't have to check, every. I know there can be a lot of different, streaming options for where the games are at, but keep in mind, these big media deals that the leagues are getting is the reason why we're able to increase the salary cap and have more revenue and all. So I know there's some friction points, but the days of having this cable, RSN that are changing naming rights every couple of years and going out of business, that's a thing of the past. The streaming is definitely the future. We were hoping the league would have the option available for next season, but it's going to be at least one more year.
Right.
And also a thing of the past, Matt, right? Is the local broadcasts that bring in a ton of revenue just in itself. How do you adjust as a franchise to maybe close that gap that does create when you don't have that?
Yeah, I mean, we're scouring the universe. I mean, I went through this in Florida, and we were able to get a great deal with Scripps Sports, which was a local OTA that we had our own streaming option. So I have a number of providers we're chatting with. We went with Victory Plus for the Wolves. It was a free streaming app, which has been pretty popular so far. But that was for the Lynx. But for the Wolves, we're obviously getting a very large rights fee, so we're trying to make up that gap. And it could be a combination of a guarantee plus like a revenue share. But that's part of the reason why the NBA is jumping in to consolidate all these rights, is to hopefully get us back the revenue that we were getting previously.
Hey, give Matt a hand for joining us. I also want to thank Matt, Patrick Reese, Aaron Freeman, the players, the coaches who have been willing to come on the Jon Krawczynski Show, whether we're doing it here or out at a live venue. We'll be announcing our newest live venue for shows coming up for the upcoming season. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it. Best of luck with everything.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.